flu.
Righty-ho, no problems, but we can hear your lovely voice. So today is really one of those Zooms that are kind of a free-for-all, open Q&A, an opportunity to connect in with where you're at with your business, what are your highs and lows, your challenges, so that we can maybe come together as thinking partners to help you to kind of navigate through some of those challenges. And I thought it'd be really a good opportunity maybe today. Morning, Marie. She's in Canada with me, so it is morning. And thank you for pushing back for that hour, because it means it's 8 o'clock for us, not 7. Thank goodness. Which I was very happy this morning. I was like, oh yeah, it's 8 o'clock. Lion. So yeah, so I thought it might be good just to connect in about websites and maybe have a look at, various websites and get inspired for us all really to either create a website for ourselves or to be inspired by the way other people have articulated their services. So I thought that might be a good thing to do as well. So I don't know whether everybody knows each other. We've got a small group, so we can do a quick kind of round of introductions and who you are and who you trained with and when you trained. Tab.
Can I just ask where the recording might be shared?
It only gets shared on our private Facebook group for those that couldn't make it to review.
Okay. Just, yeah, 'cause some people sort of take things and put them on YouTube and things like that. So it's just like knowing how much personal things to share or
Yeah, no, it's
that's
only
all. Yeah.
for group members. All of the meetings are zoomed, recorded, so that people who couldn't come can still participate. So but choose your level of
Okay.
personal exposure based on that. So
yeah, especially because like when you work and things, there's some business meetings I've been in, and then I've realised they put it on YouTube at a later date. And if someone's sort of Googling literally your business, and then you come up and you're talking about your business problems, or it's just everything's recorded and shared these days. So yeah, just
yes,
I thought it probably wasn't, but just
yeah, no, it literally is only within the network. Exclusive.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you.
So, well, let's start with you, Tab. When did you train? Who did you train with? And where are you at with your business?
So I've trained in house healing with Tim Walter, just the course that's just gone by. That's really good. And so I've kind of added that into my business. So I do something called integrated healing, which is a combination of coaching, healing, kinesiology techniques, and some other things that I've learned along the way put in there as well. So obviously that's just one-to-one with people. So yeah, so I've just changed things up to kind of add the house healing in as a service really. And that's where I'm with that. So yeah.
And how did you, I'm always curious about how you kind of folded in the house healing. How do you talk, about your work? How do you describe it? If you have a website later on, we could perhaps take a peek as well, if you're open to that.
Yeah, so the website is tabithagale.com. And I'm actually going to make some changes on my website because I recently had someone do a kind of website review or audit. It's WordPress, my website, and it's hosted by Health Hosts, which I don't recommend actually. Don't like not recommending people, but I'm going to move it soon from them. But so the way I've got it at the moment, I'm going to change it because I've been told that there's too much on there, which doesn't surprise me. I have whittled it down because I've had it for so long. It's tempting to keep adding more information to it. And actually, I think it's probably, although I think it's quite empty for somebody coming to it, it probably is quite a bit of it because I've got a massive blog on it as well. So there's information on that. But I'm going to make the tabs a bit more simple, and sort of spread them out a bit across the top, like she said, where I've got them with, like, when you sort of tab down, I've got
Yeah.
a few where I've got like drop down menus, and she was just like, that is just to like basically put all that information on one page under one tab. But then I think the page is going to be really long, so I'm not sure, but I'm going to try and kind of simplify it basically. But yeah, on my sort of main page, I can't remember what's on there. I have to look on my phone. It basically says something about like helping you with yourself and your life, with people and houses or something like that. I can't remember what's on. But yeah.
Oh, we've lost her. Oh dear. I wonder if I could perhaps find Tabitha's website. What did she say it was? Does anybody remember?
At tabithagale.com. Yeah.
Okay. I will find a website and maybe share my screen. Right, share. Here we go.
I don't know what happened there.
Are you back? Tabitha back?
Yeah, maybe the signal's a bit.
You were definitely frozen. We were just actually, if you're okay, I've just found your website. Are you okay for me to share it?
Yeah, sure.
There we go. So there you are.
Just
So
yeah, so it needs some fiddling around doing on it.
so you're going to maybe just simplify some of these breadcrumbs.
Yeah, because you were saying that you only need, people really want to find things in 3 clicks, no clicks if they're looking for something specific on whether it's whatever page it is. It's frozen a bit. Is it my end that's doing it?
I don't know. How is it for everybody else?
I can hear you now. It just keeps, yeah, it's a bit of an intermittent signal probably here.
Can everybody else see the website?
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yep. So what I notice about your website is that you've got a lovely connection with the kind of decluttering the home as well. I always find that a nice connection into house healing. And then right at the top, you talk about, feeling balanced and, happy and safe in your home.
yeah, that's it. I've got it on my phone now, so I can see. Yeah, so it's like one-to-one sessions. House healing goes in with the decluttering, which is not so much one-to-one with that, but I'm running short courses doing that. It's frozen again.
And what did you make a conscious choice about colours? The colours on your website?
Yeah, I really like the light blue, the kind of shell. It's all kind of from that shell image on the banner, because it just feels like a really spiritual image, that, and because it's like geometric, it's the shell design, so it's like the Fibonacci. Yes, I've had that on there for years, but actually I need to make the font black. Is another thing she said. It's not, Google won't like it because the font's too faint for people like me now with glasses. So I'm going to make all the font black. I don't think I can do it. I think I have to ask the hosts to do it. I can't work out how to just do that throughout the whole site, so I'll get them to just change it all, apart from the headers, which just stay blue, but get rid of the light grey so that it's readable.
Gotcha. Well, that's a good tip as well, isn't it? And then I like the fact that you've got your testimonials as well, because that's a really important thing. Every time you do a a client really asking them for a testimonial so that you can put it on your website, I think is a really important thing to do as well. So you've got who you are, which is lovely, a little introduction, and you've got all of your certifications on there too, which is cool. And then a nice little testimonial. And, this is really something that I think is a really nice addition to a website, which is kind of your story. What is your kind of evolution? What got you to where you are now? I think as human beings, we connect in with stories, and just reading something can align you to somebody in a very powerful way. So I really like the fact that you've got a story on there as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I used to have really bad anxiety in my teens and early 20s, like really bad. So that's how I got into it. It completely changed my life. Kinesiology did.
I love
healing.
I think stories are really powerful. For everybody else looking at this website, any thoughts, comments, questions? I'm just kind of doing a little tour of it.
Yeah, I'm open to any criticism or anything as well, because it's really helpful other people looking at it.
I love the drop downs. I think they're really cool.
Yeah. She was like, I think the problem with them is the one that's top on one side, it actually leads to a page, and then the one that says live online courses next to it isn't actually a page. And she was like, that's really confused, which is true. It's these things you don't proofread your own website, do you? Do things to it and then don't realize, all the glitches on it. But if you see, there's a lot of information. I can't put that all on one page, those 4 pages.
I know.
So that's what she suggested, just have courses and then have them all on one page.
It's interesting how much information you want to give people straight away, because it's like if people talk about the elevator pitch, and actually how much detail do you go into? And maybe there's actually an opening for having conversations further on beyond your website and creating that opportunity to shake hands or have an initial greeting on the website. But then I know that when I meet someone and I'm interested, I will go to their website and I will glean information from it. And if
I do as well, I'm quite analytical.
Yeah. and it's like, actually it does make,
but I think
have that background. Yeah.
But I don't get any inquiries from my website, and I don't really understand. I just think, I don't know whether the market is just massively. I'm thinking of changing my title as coach as well, back to wellbeing consultant or something, as I'm really starting to hate the coaching.
Do the stats back up?
Kind of arena. What's that? Sorry?
Do the stats back up and relate to the leads? Because I'm just wondering, if people are going to get in touch with you, they may well have looked at your website but chosen not to contact you through it. And if that website wasn't there, they might.
I don't. Yeah,
we were talking about it yesterday, and it was just.
I think that I need to when I've done. Oh, sorry, there's a bit of delay. Sorry, talking over you. I didn't mean to do that. When I've done other work that I'm contacting people and telling them about what I do, then the website is obsolete. They might go and look at it then. But I think when websites just sit on the internet, unless you've got some really clever funnel or something, bringing them to your website, then no one's really, because when people have contacted me through my website, they're pretty much 100% that they want to book. I don't have to persuade them. They're like, I've seen your website, I want to book in. But if they found me through some small link or seen something and not read about it properly, I think it works, but it's not reaching people. It's not reaching the right people. So I guess that's up to me to actually market it or promote my website or keep, which I haven't been doing lately. But it used to get more inquiries, years ago. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's why I'm changing the provider, Health Hosts. I think this woman that did the audit said the servers are really slow on mobile
Right.
for people, like the pages don't turn, and so it's irritating. So I'm going to change it to a different provider. So there's that issue. I just think, what's changed?
It's really interesting when you think about
Yeah.
websites. Is this a place that you drive people to? So you make that contact and then you say, go and have a look on my website because there's more information there. Or do they find you independently on the website? And and I think that that's a really more of a challenge, because then you've got to get into the search engine optimization bit, which I don't understand, and that's why we're bringing in an expert around marketing to kind of help us navigate some of that because clearly there's a skill set to keyword search. And I know, and I learned something years ago, and I don't know if it's true now, but try and update your website or make a change on your website on a regular basis, because then the search engine remembers you, and all of that stuff. And so I do think that there's a whole kind of skill set to how we kind of create our websites in a way that it is going to get picked up in Google searches. Keywords are a little bit of the key as well. And it's like house healing.
Yeah.
I don't know what house healing is. So what keywords do we use that, help people to find us?
Yeah, it's all about now what we put into the copy more than headings are important as well, but it's more like what you put in the copy that Google finds interesting and relates, like you say, words to things. I do like WordPress. It's very usable, like at the back end. It's just easy, like a Word, like using Word. You just fill in the SEO bits. So things I've learned about that from horrendous trial and error is like you say, it's good to tinker with your website and keep updating it and things, but don't change the main like links to the pages. I think that's where I've lost Google, because when I first had the website, I worked quite hard. This was 2008, years ago. I worked for 3 months sending links to other people. At that time, it was good to share links with other websites. It was quite different then. And within 3 months, I was on the top page of Google. I was the top person in Bristol for kinesiology. I got my website up there on my own by sharing it because I researched it a bit and did it. But now it's like so complex. I think it's worth the more bump you've got on your website, like I have now, and where I've changed things. Obviously, that was a long time ago. So you want to update things. The mistakes that I made not knowing what I was doing was changing the URLs, like changing the page titles, and then Google goes, "Oh, that's just gone. It's a dead end on Google." But it's out there. When you change things, you've got to make sure you redirect them, which I wouldn't know how to do that now. So in a way, it's better to get someone who knows what they're doing before you do anything. Because if you just think, "Oh, I'm changing that," and take it down, where you've had a really good link to someone, like, for example, Googling Reiki, and you were right up there. If you change that heading to something completely different, or something, then you've completely lost it, and it comes up literal like, "Oh, that page doesn't exist," and then people think your website's gone down. I had loads of broken links and things, which, because I didn't know what I was doing. But from now, I know to really think about what I'm doing and don't change it if it's working, and if it's got a good link, it's bringing people in or whatever, and work your way around it. Don't change it completely. Or sometimes I'll just think, "Oh, I don't want that page anymore." I've just taken the page off, and then it just says, someone the original link to it still is alive on Google. Unfortunately, it doesn't clear it from the internet. So then it's quite complicated, that stuff, that back end stuff. So it's probably better to keep things really simple. And like you say, start off with the right keywords for SEO and then stick to them. But it's so hard because like over 20 years it's changed, and what I've called myself has changed, and the new trainings I've done have changed. So it does change, but I guess it's knowing how to change it without breaking your website.
I know.
In a bit. Yeah. The worst thing I did was change the actual title. It was called Bristol Kinesiology. But again, health hosts didn't give me any warning about, oh, don't change that. You know, you've got really good, you know, I was up there in Google and that just changed that completely. I just dropped out by 5 pages when I changed it to tabithagale.com. But then I didn't want to be known for kinesiology. That is part of what I do, but I didn't want it in the title. It's a real tricky one. I just say, if you're doing anything like that, get proper advice from somebody who knows. So they can do it in a neat way. I did have redirects on it, but I don't think Google liked it because I had lots of redirects to the new title of my website.
And did you have
my phone's trying to talk to me.
Like, did you use your same domain? So it's always been Tabitha Gale domain.
No, that's what I mean. Sorry, that's what I meant. I changed the domain name.
Right.
And I really wished I hadn't, because you change your email with that as well. And that was a whole thing. I've still got problems with my email because I've got, they're redirected as well from 2 places. So it's a bit of a mess. So with hindsight, but then it's really hard because if your business changes, I don't want to be called Bristol Kinesiology, because since the pandemic, I'm online and it's more like coaching, and I'm doing the same thing, but it's online. So it's what you're bringing people in, you want it to sound like more what it is. So it's not body work because I'm online. So I didn't want to call it kinesiology. But then I had such good Google rankings. But then if you do it right, the bots catch up with you and they do re-register you in the right place and put you back up there again. So it's just that my health hosts didn't know what they were doing at all. And they messed it up. My website was actually offline partially for 9 months. Oh. And they couldn't sort it out. They kept saying it was my cache. And I was like, no, other people are looking at it. It's broken. The pages were like sort of divided up and broken, and they didn't sort it out. Anyway, start whinging about that. But that's why I don't recommend them, because they didn't even apologize when they've done that.
I think the salient point there,
but yeah,
you connect with experts to help when you're making those big changes, because we can do something that can have a catastrophic impact on our sites. Well, thanks for sharing.
And it's quite difficult to find good people. I've just found somebody who's really good, a woman called Lindsay, but I've contacted people and then found them so that they've done something, or the last person that tried to help with my emails has made it like way worse. And then now he's gone out of business and he couldn't undo what he'd done. And you just get so frightened of hiring somebody that you don't know in case they do something, like that just leave you your business. Like, so, but I have found somebody called Lindsay now. If anyone wants her number, she's had a look at my website. She's really good. So yeah, finding the right people and don't let anyone else tinker with it. It's tricky. Had a bit of a tricky time with it, unfortunately, but you learn, you learn from that. So you learn what not to do, at least. So yeah.
And don't forget,
but I think you definitely have to have a strategy for bringing people to your work.
Or clear about, is it more like a landing page
rather than just
where you're sending people to, or is it a page that you're trying to use to find clients? I mean, that, even that kind of fundamental decision at the start is really important. Now, don't forget to send me your information for the professional registry, so that you can go on the
oh yeah, I must do that. I've written it out actually. I just need to read it through and then send it. Thanks. We'll do that.
Get you up there. Well, thanks for sharing and being open to us to have a little look around your website, and you sharing some of the pains, but also the learnings, which I think is really helpful for us all.
Yeah, it's good to know.
It really,
it's good to know, though. I wish I hadn't. Some of the mistakes I've made, I really wished I'd known about those. Yeah.
Well, how many times?
Hopefully that'll help somebody else not to.
Well, exactly. And how many times did they make the light bulb before it became a light bulb? Was it something like 1,000 times before we got the light? Was it Edison? I can't remember. But they weren't mistakes. They were just, learnings. So we can look at things in different mindsets. Right. Well, who wants to talk about where they're at with their business and maybe if you've got a website, take us
Right, we'd
around.
like to see some other websites. Yeah, anyone else has got any websites to share? Be interested to have a look.
Tracy, you're leaning forwards.
I was waiting for somebody else to take, I just thought I'll just sit back and wait for somebody else. But anyway, yeah, I do have a website now. By the way, I'll introduce myself actually. So I'm Tracy. I'm on the International Healers Network page. I've only just qualified in house healing with Tim Walter. As it was, I had a like a one-to-one session with Tim afterwards. I haven't actually started my actual house healing yet because although I've done the practice clients, I haven't actually got a paid client yet. So I do have a website, but it's one that I built myself. And Tim was quite, I'm not going to say he was quite critical of it, but he picked up a few errors on it. But obviously I was interested in learning what Tabitha was saying about letting somebody tinker with it, somebody else hosting it, which has really put me off. And also having too much information. When I go on a page, if I've got to scroll right the way down, I get fed up. Do you know what I mean? I like little tabs, and I like the way that you set it out actually, Tabitha, because I like those little drop down menus, and I like selecting, like from a menu. I think you said breadcrumbs, didn't you? Before.
Yeah,
Dawn.
thank you. That's good. Maybe I'll just tidy them up a bit then, but keep them there. Make sure I've got them so they're the
Yeah.
same at the heading one is the
I mean,
same. Because I've
that's
made a
my
mistake there.
that's
But
my
yeah, maybe I'll
personal
keep them.
preference. Yeah, it's my personal preference. But I think if you, because I've seen some of these sites where you've got to scroll down and down, and to get down to the information, and you just get fed up and switch off.
Yeah, end up just spinning it when it's like that to get to the end.
And
Yeah, on my
obviously,
phone. Yeah.
search engine optimization is something I absolutely don't know about anyway. And like I said, my actual website I built myself, so you can have a look at it by all means, but it is by no means perfect.
Do you want to share, or do you want me to share?
You can do it. It's www.
Oh, I'm gonna jump onto the register because you're on there, aren't you?
Oh, okay.
See you later, love. Is it the Angel Rays one?
Yeah, Angel Rays, yeah.
Right, bear with me and I will find Zoom again and share. There we go.
Yeah. So the first criticism Tim had was my banner, because my banner's the same on most of my tabs. So when you click on the tabs, it doesn't change. So he's actually commented that I need to change my banner because it comes up the same.
Oh, right.
So it makes it look like you're not swapping tabs. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. So if I click,
you could make them also, that's good SEO. If you have like the house healing and you have a picture of a house and then you call the picture what it is as well, like house healing.
Yeah.
That's good SEO. If you just it's really, if you forget SEO and you just make it common sense, like you just put a picture of what it is, Google will like that, house healing, and there's a picture of a house.
Yeah. It was just that I had a pretty picture that I took myself and I liked it. So I just slapped it everywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, it would help people know which page they're on. It's a really nice, clean website.
Yeah. So if you scroll down, I mean, all the information's underneath. And he also said to ditch the first paragraph. So start with explain why it's called Angel Rays.
the first, right, so that paragraph there.
Yeah, so I've still got to do all my editing. He has given me somebody called Lee Fear, actually, in the UK, who he uses. So I wrote down about having, like, somebody have a review of it, a website audit, So I might hire him to do a website audit for me once I've tidied it up a bit. No, when I created this,
And I
it
think
was
just while you're sorry to interrupt there, I think I was talking to the I can't remember her name now, sorry, who we've got, and she's coming to do a talk with us in September about authentic marketing. And then I think the masterclass that she's going to do, I think she was talking about maybe doing a quick website audit for everybody. So just something to bear in mind there as well.
okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, sorry, no, it's no problem. So originally when I did this, I've had this going like about 3-4 years maybe. It was originally to promote my books, and then obviously I've had to, and I've left it alone for a couple of years because I've not been up to much after lockdown in the UK. And now I've done my house healing, now I've started adding more stuff to it. So it was literally, my website was literally floundering for 2 years with nothing added to it, nothing changed.
And that's all your house healing stuff.
Yeah, and then I've got little links on my pages as well, to go, so they can jump or go to the tabs or jump across.
Right. So it's easy, they don't get lost anywhere.
Yeah. So that's basically it really. There's not a lot to it, but like I said, I did build it myself, and I did it using WordPress.
I like that you have the like a link to your services page on there. Is that, do you do that with every page? You've got all your services and prices listed in one place.
Yeah. So if you click on
And
the
then
services, which is
yeah,
highlighted, it
that's
will
good.
jump to my services page. Obviously, I'm going to change my banner and then I'll go down. So I have put my prices down. Some people put prices on, some people don't.
Yeah, I don't like it when there's no prices, because then you have to, it's just awkward. You want to know what you just want it all there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think so. I think if you know, because it's irritating, because it puts you off getting into contact with somebody if you don't know, if the prices aren't up front straight away anyway. I mean, I did have a bit of what do they call it? Imposter syndrome. You know, when you put a price on and you think, oh my God, is that too much? And am I worth that? You know, which perhaps other people could relate to as well.
Yeah. Got to remember, it's not you, it's all the work you're doing.
Yeah.
When you add up
That you're
everything,
charging for, it's all the work, the effort.
it's just from an hour, time perspective, it's huge, so I think everybody can suffer from that imposter syndrome.
I think it's really lovely to see some parity in different websites about the charging, because I think that can give us confidence, and when we don't put a decent price on, then we're actually making it more difficult for people, for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see what the market, is doing, can't you? Then research is part of it.
Yeah. So and to try and get myself some business, so to speak, what I've done is I've shared like a description of my house healing on through my Facebook on mind, body, spirit groups, so mind, body, spirit advertising, etc. I'm a member of quite a few groups. I don't know whether that's going to get me any traction. It did do for my YouTube. I've got quite a bit of traction from YouTube doing it that way. So I thought that was the way that I was going to sort of like put my name out there through these groups, because they are full of healers and therapists, etc. And obviously house healing's a niche area. That's my thinking.
Yeah, definitely. It's things like people like to listen and learn about things, don't they? They're interesting. If that's what you're into, like I am, I watch all that stuff, and then that's a really good way to be visual, isn't it? And that's what I'm trying to get around to is doing YouTube. Yeah, and then sharing the YouTube links all over the other social media, Facebook and everything, but doing the actual videos for YouTube. It's a good idea, I think.
Okay.
Right, well, I'm going to stop sharing. Thank you, Tracy, for navigating us around your website. It's just, I think, really helpful just to have a look at what people are doing and how they're setting it out, and how they're talking about what it is that they do. I think it gives inspiration to us all. So thank you for being willing to allow us to pick a hand.
Thanks. So, and obviously I'm sharing my mistakes as well, because you know, we're not all perfect, are we? And it helps other people to think, oh, because I've taken a few things away that I can think about already today. So,
and I think that's the power of, we're all here doing similar work, but when we come at it from a place of how do we lift each other up and support each other, as opposed to we're in competition with each other. I think that's the shift, isn't it? How do we, because really there's no shortage of work out there. So the more that we can lift each other up, the bigger changes that we're going to help the world shift into. So it's good work. So thanks, Tracy.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, who wants to chat next?
I don't mind chatting next, but I haven't got a website.
That's okay.
I haven't really got anything, actually, because we've had Melanie and I have had such a job getting insurance.
Yeah.
Which we finally sorted about 10 days ago. We both went with the same crowd. They're called Foyt, Foyht. They're a Spanish outfit. And actually, there's no house healing category as such. It's they call it house blessings. So anyway, we've both got that now in place, and it's they charged us the same. It was 122 euros or something for the year, which was fairly good. But I was in group 7 with Tim, and I was with Tabs and with Melanie just last year. And so I'm only recently qualified. My daughter is very tech-minded. I'm not, I'm afraid. So she's helping me do a bio at the moment, which I'm hoping to share with you, Dawn, and put on the
Great.
House Healing Network thing. As far as a website goes, I mean, I've been doing landscaping and garden designing for nearly 30 years, and I've never had a website, and I've always just managed to be really busy through word of mouth, which is great. And actually I've already got several clients lined up for the house healing, family members, particularly my sister and my daughter who lives in London. They've asked me to do theirs for family rates, so not really a commercial rate, but it'll be something.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a great start, but I think there is so much, as you just said, Dawn, there is so much requirement for this house healing. So many people are beginning to realize what's making them really ill. Actually, my sister has been ill now for 15 years, and I had no idea until she mentioned it the other day. There's a transformer at the end of her garden and an 11,000 volt cable running under her house. So they obviously lived there for 8 years or so before she became ill. So it's all about electromagnetic radiation, basically.
Yeah.
And she's got terrible ME, and it keeps coming back. And she's been housebound. It's been really, really bad for her. So I've actually, I've gone down the rabbit hole a little bit on EMF, and I was going to actually ask you guys today about EMF if anyone's had any experience. But I understand that rose quartz can work. She's actually got the electricity supplier engineers coming out with their meters to do a full check.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure what the outcome is going to be, but it's a very real thing. And also they've got a little cheap meter themselves, and they're astounded by the radiation from their router, for example, and their microwave and their telly even. And just so many people have their phones in by their beds and this sort of thing. It's quite amazing.
You know,
yeah. Sorry, yeah, carry on, Dawn.
One of the things that I teach in my course when we talk about the technopathic stress piece is the difference between blocking technology and harmonizing. So like bringing rose quartz into the environment is a beautiful harmonizer, but it's not going to block
it's not going to stop it, is it?
It isn't going to stop it. So really, the only thing that it's like distance. So how far are you away from something in relation to what it's kicking out? How long you are exposed to it. It comes into comes into play, and and there are blocking technologies that you can bring in that will stop it dead in its tracks. So I think when it comes to technopathic stress, in my opinion, I think we've got to come at it from both aspects. The harmonization piece, but also the reality of the danger of this.
Yeah,
and really making some good recommendations for our clients.
Yeah. And for an example, I put this is my the little cabin here I'm in just down from the house, and I put an access point router in, and as soon as I plugged it in, I got this huge headache feeling. So I'm actually using an Ethernet cable connected in rather than the wireless in here. And my daughter picked it up as well. She said, "Oh my goodness, Dad, I've got a headache down there after 5 minutes." So it's a very real thing. But also I've done a lot of garden designs, and I've always had a very good link, and I've used dowsing over the last 30 years for minor things when we're building the actual gardens to find water pipes and sewer pipes and all that sort of thing. So obviously the house heating is a progression for me anyway. But the people I've come across here, I know one guy, I've just done a garden design for him, and he's back in hospital. And actually, I know that it's a bad water running under his house that's causing his problem. But I think it might be exacerbated by EMF as well. I haven't actually been in his house, and I haven't approached him. He's actually in hospital today. He's gone down to Galway Hospital to be fully analysed. I can't work out what's wrong with him.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how when we think about how clients might come to us, they're going to come to us from a whole variety of places. So somebody might come to us because they have a serious or chronic health condition that they're not able to resolve, or medicine isn't able to resolve. So it sounds like you've got quite a few people coming to you from that perspective. You might get people, I get a lot of people coming to me because they've got spirits in their home. So might be an avenue that people come to you from. The geopathic stress, they've heard about that. That might be a way in which people find your services. I went through a period of time where relationship issues, I think I've spent a year helping to harmonize homes to resolve relationship issues. So it's just funny how what is going on for people that get them to a point where they reach out to a house healer. And I think we're talking about how we talk about our services. We've got to talk about it from all those different kind of access points, really.
Certainly, yeah. And I'm just wondering, obviously the house healing network is for us to network with each other. And, if there's something that maybe I can't deal with, then I'm sure one of you ladies or other people would be able to help, and that's the whole idea of the network, isn't it, really?
Absolutely. It really is. It's so that we can support each other and help out.
But going back to the websites, do you think people actually know to type in? Oh, sorry, Tabs, yeah.
Yeah, I was just a couple of things to answer your initial question, I had a client, I've had lots of clients where electromagnetic stress has come up on my lists with kinesiology, which is muscle testing somebody, but obviously you can do the same with dowsing. And so the odd bit has come up for people where I've had to release that stress from their being that's built up and that energy. But one in particular, one client I had came to me because she was just aching all over, a muscle ache, completely like almost like just fatigued, but more than that, she was actually aching all over. And I just thought when she came to see me, oh my God, like I don't even know what I could be doing for this person if they've got a really physical thing. But we tested it, and it was electromagnetic stress, and she was a writer, so she was on her laptop all day, and then she spent the whole evening gaming because she loved gaming. And so just with, I can't remember because this was quite a few years ago now, exactly what we did in the session, probably healing, but also sort of tweaking her environment as well with, so I did say put a big quartz cluster, I used to tell people, between you and the laptop so that it's actually kind of diffusing it. She only had one session, and she just said that she didn't, I thought you'll probably have to come for a follow-up because you've got a serious, ailment going on. But she absolutely cleared it. She's like, I have no problem. I told her to go out in nature, not be on it in her spare time, gaming all the time, to go out and walk in the park, earth herself, get earth energy up into her body, that kind of thing. And it just was, and I couldn't believe it myself that it was just electromagnetic stress. Nothing else came up in the session, foods, nothing else that did that to her. But it can be quite heavy. But I'll pop into the chat here. There's a company there's loads of companies that make things that deflect it energetically, similar to probably what Dawn was saying. So I'll pop this company in. Obviously there's loads, you can choose one, but I've got one on my phone. It's like, you can't see it though, but obviously you can put things on your laptop. But this company called Orgon Effects Australia, they make actual little pyramids, which are imbued with G, which harmonizes the home, and they are about 100 quid or so. But if you've got something and obviously you could test with your dowsing whether that's necessary, it might not be the right thing. But if you just have a look at what they've got, there are places in the UK that stock that stuff. And I remember seeing these things and thinking, wow, I want one of those. Little pyramid you can put in the room, which kind of holds the energy of the whole house. But again, you'd to test it, whether it would be right or whatever. But just to let you know, there are those extra things that we can use as well as sort of clearing the space. But like you say, like Dawn says, if it's something really massive, it might be a case of even moving sometimes if you're somewhere where there's something that you can't get rid of. I'll pop it in there in case anyone's interested.
And Jim,
put in the chat
in the name of somebody, is it Jeremy Nadler,
yeah.
Nadler, sorry.
Struggle for a human future, and it's not so much healing, but he talks about the relationship of the soul to the Internet of Things, he calls it. And it's a really poetic read, and he really talks about the ethics, and his specialisms are to do with the evolution of consciousness. So really understanding sort of what was happening in your head when you were sort of Egyptian times, that sort of thinking. And he doesn't actually have a mobile phone still. He will meet in person. So he comes from such a historic viewpoint that it's really fascinating to read. He's part of the Tenemus Society. So yeah.
Interesting.
How do you spell his surname?
Nadler, Naydler. I mean, he's written books on the evolution.
Thank you.
And he's a gardener. So
great. And you can make orgonite products yourself. They're really quite simple to make, and it's interesting technology in that the premise is built on I guess research that happened in the probably 1920s, but it was based on the idea that humans have access to a source of energy that is actually connected to the orgasm, and that's why it's called Organite. And it was, we deplete that, or we can, infuse our, our body with that, and that's where Organite comes from. Quite a fascinating history.
Could I just make a comment as well? Salt lamps are meant to be very good around computers and technology as well, because they give off, if I can get this right now, they give off negative ions because the positive ions come off the equipment, and that they're meant to negate that as well. Because it's interesting that because I work in education, people spend a lot of time on technology, that a lot of people who use laptops and technology end up with what's the imbalance in the ear, where they can't do heights and things like that. Vertigo, that's it. A high number of people who use computers end up with vertigo as well, and they reckon that's tied in with the electrical field. So yeah, I'll just sort of chip that in.
What was the crystal, Tracy, that you said that helps with it?
Salt lamps. Salt lamps.
Salt lamp. Okay.
Oh, sorry, it's my accent. Salt. Salt lamps.
Wow.
The pink lamps.
Yeah.
And they're meant to give off
So when the
negative
bulb,
ions.
when the bulb warms the salt, it releases the negative ions. It's like when you go to the ocean, you feel good.
Yeah.
It's because it's full of negative ions. So
by a waterfall, for example, as well.
exactly.
Yeah.
That movement of water. So it's the same kind of principle. When the bulb warms the salt, it releases the negative ions into the atmosphere, which are incredibly good for us. I have
That's why showering feels good, isn't it? Because showering is the same thing. When the water splits, that's when you get the negative ions, like at the ocean. When the waves crash down, that's when the negative ions are released. But you can get ionizers as well, which are good for that. My mum used to swear by an ionizer for her migraines when I was little. She had an ionizer in her bedroom. It just releases a flow of negative ions.
And sometimes it's just trial and error. This is black tourmaline. So I have it by my computer because I spend a lot of time in front of my computer. So black tourmaline for me is just a really good, a blocker as well. It just
I'm here as well.
Right. Perfect. You're a black tourmaline guy. But I am trying to hunt down somebody to bring to the network to talk specifically about technopathic stress. So I'm on the hunt for that because I think that would be a really good session for us all to dive into as well. Yeah. So Chris, sorry we interrupted you, but
so I haven't really got a plan to make a website as yet, but I will do a bio and just a link maybe by email.
Yep, we have some where we just got contact and it goes straight to an email address, so we can absolutely do that. Yeah,
but as I was going to say, it's that the name house healing is not really out there at the moment, even with the insurance companies and that sort of thing. So the categories of work that we do, our insurers are put under house blessing.
Yeah.
Which you Wikipedia that it's the same thing as house healing.
It really is.
But there's certainly a lot of people beginning to realize that it's all linked. So I think it's a great
shortage of work.
Exactly, no shortage.
Oh, thanks, Chris, for sharing where you're at.
Thank you.
Joe, Marie, Erica, who wants to go next? Joe?
Yeah, if you're happy, I'll go next. Yeah. I think, where am I? So I guess I finished with Tim probably end of last year, about November. But about, oh gosh, you forget things. About 15, maybe 12 years ago, I did a course on house healing, which I totally forgot when it was a few days of sort of geopathic stress and house healing and that sort of thing. And so I've always done little bits. And I think I need to remember that and bring that in things. So I've got my website out now. I think because I did a lot of work in the arts, I feel like I'm a sort of a container ship where I'm trying to bring people with me and not shock them into oh, Joe's suddenly doing this. It's like saying, well, actually, this is actually been within what I've been doing anyway and peeling that out for people. And I'm quite happy to be a straightforward house healer. I've got, I think for me that comes in it, and I've sort of the way I'm thinking about my website is it's a place for
Are
people
you
to
happy
feel,
for me to share while you're
yeah, of
talking?
course, yeah, of course, a place for people to feel comfortable and to find a little bit more about what I'm doing. I try to keep it fairly simple. And I was thinking, I need a picture of a house. I need a picture of a house. And all I got was Borage. And it was like, okay, I'm just going to go with Borage because I think Tim said something about bung something out there. You can always adjust it later on. And actually, I looked it up later, and actually, Borage is very much about courage and joy, which I want to bring to house healing. So it fits. What I tried to do was, well, first of all, I sat with an A4 bit of paper, divided it into segments, and thought, this is my color palette. These are words I love to use. These are things I'm interested in. These are the bits I don't want to do, but people will need to know about pricing and, those sorts of things. I just go, so yeah. And then getting the testimonials, just little bits in there. So it's really just about getting something out there. What I found was I'm really into this stuff, like we all are, and I was getting so much to say. So each time, so it's like the home that taught me, that's going to be cut by half soon because there's too much there. No one needs it all. But what I'm trying to do is keep all these chunks that I'm removing that will be Instagram posts or blog posts at some time. So that, yeah, nothing's ever lost. And also, it's things that I didn't want to have something that looked too healing medical. I wanted to be a very soft landing because I think the people I'm going to run up about that I'm connecting with are coming into it gently, don't necessarily want to leave woo-woo land or have those sorts of attitudes. They want to come in, feel reassured, feel that they're in a safe place, that they can ask questions and that will come at things gently. And it's a very friendly process. That's sort of what I'm trying to express, and also maybe a little bit of humor and history to things. And part of my thinking was I'm going to be doing a talk soon about house healing. So my target was to get this in place before it happens so that they can look it up in advance and I can build on that for them. And as part of it, I thought, well, this is my color range. So I went and got some little cards made that all match, so it sort of becomes like a joined up thing. So the borage becomes absolutely key. So yes, I've got little things like that says sanctuary, being here. So anyway, if someone selects a card, like say place memory, then we've got a conversation. So it's all about trying to start a conversation, and through the visuals really. And one thing that I've been thinking about, where is it? Because I did some healing for a friend who's a graphic designer. And so she came up with a little logo for me as part payment. So I'm trying to work out what to do with it, but it's a little borage flower with a key. So, and I thought that's really interesting because me personally, I would have gone divining rods route, but it's more about me. But for her, I'd return the keys to her home and her garden. So I'm sort of thinking, well, this will be something that I use, on the back of the cards, and maybe on the website as little bits. So it's just trying to join it all up and not make it too scary, and keep it feeling really warm so that people who know me from another context will feel the same. I also, because of the art stuff, I've got various websites littering around the internet that are hanging in, you know, the freebies. So I went round all of them that are there, I hope now, and have put an image of the borage flower on it with a redirect saying that now I'm spending most of my time house healing. And so they've got the borage flower, they can click on that and they will get taken to the new website. So there's a continuity.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'll shut up now.
No, gosh,
Great job.
I love
Lovely.
two things that I just off the bat want to mention. I love the story. Where is it? The Home That Taught Me. I love that. I think that's a really nice, I'm going to say hook, but hook in a nice way. You know, it really is. I think it's just a lovely thing to have on your site. And like a key is so symbolic for so many different things. You can use that in a whole variety of ways. So I think your graphic artist friend was really really astute when she kind of pulled those two things together. I really, really like it. Anyway, I'll shut up. What about the rest of you? Thoughts, comments?
I was going to say, Joe, so you sought out Tim when you had all the problems in your lovely house. So how did you feel at the stage when you were realizing you had problems and you were, what should I do? Who should I go to? How did you discover Tim?
Great
Because
question.
that's what people are at the stage before they contact you, for example.
Absolutely. I think that's been one of the most powerful bit on my journey. I actually got into the Hamish Miller and the Michael and Mary line years ago.
Yeah.
And I bought the book and I actually used to go walking with my friend Jenny Parks, who you might know here. And and Jenny said, "Oh, my nephew would really enjoy this."
Yeah.
So Jenny gave Tim the book. And he was at the beginning of his path. So it was almost like I was confirming for him what his journey was about. And then I seeded the idea, and then for me to go to him when things got a bit struggly.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I did look at his website repeatedly for some time. And I also came across, well, I didn't come across it, his YouTube channel popped up. I never listened to YouTube, you know, so I was getting big hints from places as to it. But I think if that stuff hadn't been out there, I wouldn't have been able to find the doorway so easily.
Yeah.
So yeah. And
that's it. We've all got to be out there and be visible, otherwise people aren't going to find us. Basically, like Tim has been so prolific on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why it's reaching people.
And then people have heard of how. Yeah.
Sorry, Joe.
No, I was just thinking the other thing I've got now is if you look up there, there's a little bit of Melanie and her triple braid. And there's the print there. So actually, I tend to sit in this corner now to reinforce what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And having the background and almost that sort of trying to be honest about what I'm doing. Because sometimes it's easy to fudge. So yeah.
Joe, have you registered your website on Google? Because I just tried to Google you and nothing's, your website hasn't come up at all. So you're not actually searchable. I put in literally Joe Thomas house healing and nothing came up. And then I put Joe Thomas presencing place. And then what has come up is your LinkedIn profile, but not your website, but your LinkedIn.
Okay,
so if there's anything you can do to, tart up your initial LinkedIn profile, because if people are searching and it's picking up LinkedIn, you can use that, go in that and update it, make sure it looks how you want it to look, or that sends to the website as well from there. But yeah, if you actually I think you literally just put into Google, register I don't know if register is the right word, but register my website, it will literally show, the page will come up on Google to help you, and you just literally pop your URL in there, and then they do it within a few weeks, I think, if I can remember. But yes, if you've got a website, put it in Google, otherwise it won't come up in Google, which is what, you know, most people search in.
Yeah, I think
Another
I
great
think
tip.
what
helpful.
part of what the website bit is actually having that integration. So once you've got the website, you need your LinkedIn, you need your Facebook, your Instagram, or especially if you've got different histories, it's going to look really fragmented if you're not all one being out in that ether world. And that's, yeah, and I think that Google, it's
Yeah.
basic, isn't it? It's very important. So thank
Yeah,
you.
put yourself in there. Yeah, that's all right.
Thank
Thanks, Joe.
you.
Marie, Erica.
I'll go next. So if that's okay.
Yep.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I just have a few comments. I've just loved all of your websites. I think they're amazing. And Tracy, I think it's amazing that you did your own. So I just wanted to comment though, I couldn't find a book called Towards a Human Future, but I did find one with a different title by Jeremy Nadler, and also talking about websites not connecting. I could not connect to the Oregon Effects Australia website. So maybe they've changed something and it's not allowing me to get there.
Okay.
But I have heard of them. I heard of somebody else actually ordering from them. So
Yeah.
Small world.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'll have a look. It must be similar. There's also similar things, but what Dawn said that we can make our own. I'm going to Google that actually and see how I might be able to make my own.
Yeah.
Because that's quite
Cool.
exciting.
It's a cool process. Marie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
that's really hard. In what sense? Like,
well, so you trained with me.
yes.
A couple of years ago.
Sorry, what?
You trained with me a couple of years ago.
Yes. So I have taken most of Dawn's courses that she's offered because I'm a huge fan. But I haven't actually done a lot of house healing other than just for friends, like another person on this network. Her name is Zoe. And we have been working on a friend of ours' house who was also on the course, Elena, and just working through her house together. And Zoe has wanted me to do her house. But I'm just like I just don't have enough time to devote to this, even though I absolutely love it. Like when I'm doing it, it just like I feel the best I ever feel. But like just finding the time to do it is really difficult. So, and I don't have a website. I don't really have anything. So, and I'm just really on this call to get information to gather it for when I do go about doing something with this.
This isn't a race. It isn't, this is a journey. It comes to you, when the time is right. And Marie's a beekeeper, and you're a big part of your vision for your business is how to integrate the honey aspects and the bees to all of that as well, which I think is just incredible. So I'm looking forward to seeing Marie launch that as well.
Thank you.
Marie, tell us a bit about your beekeeping. It's
oh my
so
gosh.
nature. It's so there. It's right in nature, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I absolutely love beekeeping. And actually after this call, I'm going to go put my suit on and head out there right now because I have some work to do. And today the weather is just perfect. So yeah, I absolutely love it. It's I love everything about it actually. So except for lifting the frames full of honey, that's kind of hard work.
Heavy. But that's the cash right there.
Yes. So yeah, I like, what do you want to know? Because I could just talk about it.
Do you have mobile hives, or are you in one spot all the time? Where do the bees get where do they go to get their nectar and stuff?
Okay, so I have my hives in my backyard. sorry, I don't mean to take over your house networking call, but I have my hives in my backyard, but I have taken them up to past Jordan River where the logging roads are here on Vancouver Island. And up there, because of the logging, there's a ton of fireweed. So they just pull
Wow.
nectar in from the fireweed like
Yeah.
crazy.
We're
And
covered in fireweed here at the moment too. It's everywhere.
yes, yeah, yeah. So, but right now I just have them in my backyard, and I have for a couple of years now. I haven't gone up to they call it the out yards here. I haven't done that for a couple of years now, and I've done very well. Like they're just getting the stuff from the like plants around here.
Yeah, that's good.
So, yeah,
Lovely.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So,
How long have you done it for?
Well, my dad started doing it when I was a kid, so I did it with him. And then my parents split up, and then I wasn't doing it anymore. Well, I did it a little bit, but then I started again with 4-H in 2016. So then one of the other leaders wanted to teach beekeeping, and she found out that I knew about beekeeping, so she wanted to start a group, and then just it's been since then.
So the next question is, have you got a website for the beeswax and the honey and all this stuff? Oh,
No, sadly not.
because it would be a natural progression to do a house healing
Exactly.
website as well.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
I keep whittering on at Marie, and we have a video on my YouTube channel. I went to Marie's place and interviewed her, and Marie was trying to work with geopathic stress to help the bees. So we're putting devices in, and we're measuring the energy fields of the hives pre-device and after the device, and that was pretty cool. So go on my YouTube, don't and you'll find one about bees, which features Marie.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was very cool, and actually my garden did well because of that as well. Like those devices, my garden was amazing. So
Wow. Thanks for sharing, Marie.
yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
And Erica, oh sorry, Joe.
I was just, you probably are aware of this, but they keep mentioning on the Earth Energies group about bees, and they've got a bee group. I don't know whether you're part of it.
Yeah, Paul connected. It's a WhatsApp group, I think. So Paul connected us onto that.
And the other thing, I think all this talk about websites, and there's something really beautiful about being a best kept secret, or something that people who like doing the websites actually, because we all know each other, we can refer to each other. And I think the more we share, the more I'm becoming aware of the different specialisms that everyone has. And it's, house healing is, it's almost like a very simple term for something that's really diverse and quite the specialist areas. And
it is. And one of the things that we want to do with the network is, interview everybody, about their passions and their specialisms, and have that, up for people, so that if you have a case that you're not sure that you can, deal with, you can see what everybody else is passionate about and what their expertise is, so that you can refer easily as well. So that is another little plan we have going forwards to build this network into something I think amazing. Erica, what about you?
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I'm not on camera. I'm under the weather. You don't want to see me. So, but I trained with Dawn about a year ago. Graduated from the class, and kind of baby steps since. No website. I'm kind of liking what Chris's idea of by word of mouth, but we'll see where it goes. I'm not very techy, but I do appreciate everyone sharing their tips, because to know those kind of sticking points, it's good to know that before I even venture out. So that's great. Recently I've done the step with the British Columbia government to register my name choice. So sending off my top 3 name choices for my business. So just waiting to hear back if I got the top choice. And had my first paying client about a month ago. And so it was kind of a unique situation. It wasn't the whole house healing protocol. It was sort of specific to her because this particular person moves quite often. So I wasn't really looking for geopathic stress. It was more to do with her. So we kind of more concentrated on the personal wellness side of things. And so, yeah, I again, struggling with what to charge and how much time I put into it, charged a certain amount. And she was like, nope, I'm paying you more. So it was very kind that even though I settled on a number and I was comfortable with it, she's like, no, I realized that you put, because I had a 10-page report and all these kinds of things. So, but yeah, the feedback was positive. She could feel things shifting for her before I even did the harmonization, which was very good feedback for me to hear. So next step, yeah, is just to, get that name registered, do the next steps with what, legally need to do with the BC government, and then check out the insurance side.
Cool.
So,
Erica, what is your name?
it's going to be Magical Energy.
Oh, very nice.
The magical spelling, not the woo-woo spelling.
Traditional spelling. Well, congratulations on your first paying client and getting such good reviews. Don't forget to collect a testimonial.
Okay, I will do. Yes, I appreciate it. So thank you. So no questions right now. I just really like what everyone else shared, and thank you. And I just wanted to ask Marie if she ever has an open house at her place for the bees, and if I can come.
Sure. I don't actually have an open house, but you can come anytime.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Marvelous, love it. We're all pretty close by in on Vancouver Island here, so that's good. That's good. Oh, thank you, Erica. Anybody got any questions for Erica or comments?
Erica, do you feel you're linked to the elementals, fairy folk and little people?
I would say elementals, yes. I'm not too sure that I would say what they are per se, but I have a wee garden. I'm in an apartment building, so I have a very jam-packed, I want to say 3 foot by 10 foot balcony garden, which yesterday was the festival for the goddess Pomona. So I did a little offering to the goddess Pomona. So I know I have elementals in regards to, nature elementals. I'm not sure exactly who, but I did try to ask Pomona to come help out. How about yourself?
Oh, definitely. I'm working with them all the time. I actually feel them getting cross with me sometimes. And whenever I'm in a garden looking for ideas, I sort of let them come into me and drop ideas in. And very often it works so well.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah, I have had one. I would say spirit rescue was with a rosemary bush. When I was just when I was just starting Dawn's class, and it very much was a surprise on my way to work, just walking and having this gigantic, I want to say it was a 6 foot rosemary bush just chopped down, and I was in shock, and I could just feel the elemental or the spirit of that rosemary bush cling to me like a baby, and then I helped relocate it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well done.
But I'll pay more attention, yes.
I love it. Oh, thanks, Erica. Conscious of time, but I'll share my website and the spirit of sharing. I'm not an expert at all, so I've learned some stuff along the way and still learning. But I call myself a subtle energy alchemist. That is, and I host this on Canva. Canva is really easy to use, and with the free account for Canva, you get 3 websites, and you can publish on them using their domain. It obviously makes it a long domain, or you can buy a domain off them or import your own. I imported my own because I had my domain here, dawnkerkham.com. Yeah, it's simple. That's my I have my different tabs there that you can go to, but basically it is just a very simple about me, a little video about what house healing is, just pick that up from my YouTube, what the process covers, the impact. Again, I've got a couple of videos on there, signs of exposure, talk a little bit about the process. Is this right for you? So some of the things that people might experience, and then services. Now I haven't put my prices on. I started with my prices, and then I found that they were not standard, because people will come in for, you know, different packages and things like that. So I didn't, but you know, I'm listening to everybody here on this call today saying, you know, that's really helpful to have those on. So I'm going to think about that a little bit more, but I don't have my prices on right now. And then
maybe you could have them separate, but then have a bundle of when they choose 2 or 3 and a price for a bundle as well, or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Or just like arrange an idea so that people know. And then the kind of coaching, mentoring and healing services that I provide, and then the training. My courses. I've got my playlist for YouTube on there, and then the network. So you can, with my testimonial, so you can just literally scroll down it all. I know, I think Tracy was saying she doesn't like that, so I don't know. But you can also jump on the with the to a particular page just by, you know, going on the link as well. We'll take you to the page. But it's just a very, very simple website. It's not fancy and flashy. I am somebody who likes a lot of white space on my website. That's just a personal preference. Find it easy to read. And yeah, so that is mine. Thoughts, improvements, what do you think?
Great, functional.
Yeah, it's nice and clean, like you say. You can see everything on it. It's a lot of space on there. Yeah, it's good. It looks very professional as well. Do you find you see more people for one service than another, Dawn? If you do different things, you do like one-to-one healing and things as well.
Yeah, I don't do any in-person healing anymore. All of my work is remote. I do an awful lot of teaching, so I teach an awful lot. So that does take up a fair bit of my time. I think people tend to come in clusters. So, like I said, I had like a year of working on, you know, people's relationships, and then just recently it's been a whole slew of geopathic stress assessments. So they tend to come in clusters, which I find interesting. Like when you play yellow car and all you see is yellow cars. It feels like there must be something in my energy that's attracting that type of client, type of client to me. And then sometimes after I've worked with the client, one of two things happens. One is that they want to train with me, so they will often come and join one of my programs. Or the other is that I will then pivot to one-on-one kind of coaching with them and just support them moving forwards that way. And so you build a relationship up. It isn't just a, you know, one and done, which is quite nice as well.
Yeah. And do you find you see more people from where you are now in British Columbia, or from UK, or both, kind of mixture?
You know, I have had clients from all over. One of the, you know, I was going to say this, one of the main ways in which I get clients is I'm a director of the Canadian Society of Dowsers. I'm on their website. All of our members can go onto the website. So I get an awful lot of clients that way. So do think about joining your local dowsing group. I'm also a trustee of the British Society of Dowsers, so my heart's there as well. You have to pay to be on their professional register. But you know, that is another, you know, really great way that people find out about you. And there's a legitimacy to all of that as well, being associated with, you know, a body like that. So I do get a lot of Canadian clients as well, not necessarily from British Columbia. I get it from, you know, across Canada, but yeah, being on the CSD website has been really helpful for me.
That's good, yeah.
And just doing lots of talks, you know, getting out there, I think is definitely, you know, I think I don't find, you know, masses amount of people finding me through my website. So for me, the website is the place that I send people. They come to me via my YouTube or, you know, various talks that I've done or, you know, continue to do, and that's kind of how I've built my business up. So get out there, sell yourself.
Yeah, it's what we need to do. Yeah, sell it.
Yeah. Well, and it's not
Yeah.
selling a service so much. I always say selling you, because people connect with you, who you are as a human being. And that's why I really like those personal stories. And that's something that, you know, I want to think about as well, about putting some of my personal stories, you know, on there as well, because it really connects that kind of human being to human being. It's important. Well, I am conscious of time. We are a little over, just about to head into the 5:30 for you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
9:30 for us. It's been lovely getting to know you all. It's been nice just having a smaller group where we can just chat and share. So thank you for being open to that and sharing where you're at and your websites and your trials and tribulations, because I've learned so much from you all, and hopefully you all feel like that as well. The recording will go up. I'll pop it onto our Facebook group. And in September, we do have a marketing specialist coming to talk to us. She's doing a 3-hour masterclass in November, which is comes at an extra cost because we're going to pay her for that. But I've spent some time with her. She's absolutely delightful. She understands energy and the heart-centeredness to marketing, and how we can market our services authentically, and you know, it's a different, you know, it's a different thing, you know, energy healing that we're trying to market. So I think some of those very, you know, left brain ways of, you know, marketing don't sit well for us. So she is really, really cool. So I'm excited for you to hear her speak in September.
Brilliant. That sounds good.
Sounds good. Thank
Mm.
you.
Excellent. Well, I'll see you all soon.
Yeah, thank you
Take
so
care.
much.
Thank you so much. Lovely to
Thank you,
see you all.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy
Thank
the rest
you.
of summer.
Bye.
Bye.